feel so like mesmerized by them. I love this. Like, I have to say, I think this is my new favorite I-DLE album, despite the fact that they just tortured me throughout the whole thing. Hello friends, it's LC. Welcome to my channel. If you are new and if you are returning, welcome back. Friends, I am extra excited for this video today because I feel like from the vast majority of you, I've heard that I Burn is your favorite I-DLE album. So here I am today reacting to I Burn and then starting off with Hann Alone, since from what I understand, there's a storyline involved here with Hann Alone being the beginning. I feel like my expectations for this album are pretty high, but I have no doubt in my mind that I'm not going to be disappointed. So let's get into it, but before we do, please don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoy it and subscribe to my channel.
12 seconds later.
So for today's beverage of the day, I have a cup of tea, which is some cold 911 tea from David's Tea. Unfortunately, I am feeling a bit under the weather. I have a bit of a cold, but before filming this video, I loaded up on the maximum amount of dosage that was safe to take of cold medicine. So I'm hoping there won't be too much sniffling today. If so, I'll do my best to completely edit it out as much as I can, especially after drinking this while it's really warm, if it just like opens the floodgates, if you know what I mean. It's minty fresh. It's got some mint, it's got some eucalyptus berries. I feel like it's very soothing. Hopefully it'll keep my throat lubricated as well. Oh, I hate that I just said that word. Lubricated. All right, so we are going to get started here with Hann Alone, and I don't really know what Hann means here, so maybe I'll do a little bit of looking this up. So I found an article from Billboard that says Hann, which is stylized Han with a dash in Korean, was co-written by member So-yeon and songwriter Big Sancho, aka Yummy Tone, and is about trying to forget a past lover. Its title appears to refer to the Korean concept of Han, which denotes cultural collective feelings of injustice, helplessness, isolation, and oppression from outside sources. Oh my goodness. So I have a feeling we're not going to get sunshine and rainbows then from this music video. So let's watch this video then for Hann Alone. Feels almost like a western.
Do you remember what you said? 너는 내게 뭐든 줄 것처럼 말을 건넸다. Don't you remember you
Playing with fire there.
remember what you said? 너는 마치 무슨 약을 먹은 마냥 변했다.
Oh my god. She really loves to like lick things, doesn't she? I feel like so many videos I've seen. Ooh, I like more shoe-up parts. Huh. Ooh. I love that beat. Ooh, and the colors. The fufu was making me think of Senorita. Ooh. I feel so like mesmerized by them. Ooh, like a hungry lion. Foreshadowing. Ooh. Not the scorpion. Yeah, in ways it's bringing back like La Ta Ta as well, of that like spellbinding quality. That little eyebrow. Ooh. They're all just so captivating. I think that chronologically so far between La Ta Ta and Senorita that this is my favorite like single or title track. I don't even know if you could call this a title track since I think it was its own single, right? And it's interesting that it has a connection to I Burn because it feels like all throughout this video they're like playing with fire, especially at the beginning when Soyeon is like bitten or stung by the scorpion and she just kind of like savors that pain. And this line of, do you remember what you said? You talked to me as if you were going to give me anything. And then you suddenly changed as if you took some kind of drug. Like this person became a stranger to her. And then when they're in their kind of black outfits, especially with the veil, it's almost like they're mourning this relationship. Especially with Mion's line saying like, when you see me, just coldly act like you don't know me and turn away. I didn't know you when I saw you. I'll only smile now because I don't know who you are anymore. And then I will forget you. It's almost like this person has given them permission to move on when they're, you know, acting that way. And I have to say, I'm feeling this like red hair Sujin moment. Obviously, I am partial to red hair, but putting my bias aside, I still think it looks amazing. And this line that I will erase you, it feels like there's like some bite to it, you know? Like, go away, don't come near me, I won't come back no matter what you say. And I feel like it's so cool now knowing what I know that she says here, Soyeon, like a hungry lion, you wanted me so bad, and she's holding on to this fence like it's a cage, when in the future she and the rest of the members become like the lion. Ba, 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 ba. And then Soyeon later saying, this love changed to darkness, we can't go back, everything is burned. More foreshadowing here for I Burn. And then this little plant that's like emerging from the sand feels like a new beginning, you know, like the start of something coming from nothing, a plant in the middle of the desert. And then Minnie saying, I erase the bruises on my heart, the sadness in my eyes, in my heart. It's so cold. I don't know if this is a good thing, like the ability to kind of just turn it off, like the projector that she has, just like a flip of a switch, it can all be gone. And then no matter what, you come back to my side, but now there's no place left for you. This is the end for me. I don't know you anymore. So they're completely closing the door here. It almost gives like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Oh, they're not gonna let you fool them twice. But you know, it is an interesting concept, especially, you know, them saying this is so cold, I don't know if this is a good thing, where it's almost, do you give someone a second chance and, you know, everybody makes mistakes and can learn from them, or you know, do you not let someone who's hurt you once hurt you again? Like, I don't think there's a cut and dry answer here. I guess it would really depend on what exactly the person did to you. And I feel like pretending someone doesn't exist, like that's a pretty major thing. But I trust them, you know? I trust them to make the right decision for them, especially when they all have each other. So this makes me very curious how this is going to lead into our next song, which is Han Alone in Winter, and our first song on I Burn and our first B-side. So, you know, if we're going to Han Alone in Winter, I'm guessing that they're still in their feels about this, or even potentially regretting their decision, or, you know, really just like living in that loneliness of a post breakup haze. And I feel like it's really interesting of them to do a follow-up on this song almost 3 years later. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go here with Han Alone in Winter. Pretty dark beginning for the album. Sounds very desolate. Oof. Ooh, you could feel their passion in that. Just feeling so resentful. Oh. Wow, this is such an interesting start to the album. No, not your tears. Oh. There's almost like a fairy tale element to it too. Like getting swept up in like a fantasy world. And I don't know if that's what they're going for, of like it's all just a fantasy, you know. Ooh, I have chills. Like, what a cinematic and powerful start to this album. And even though this was tied to the previous Han Alone song, this also reminded me of Put It Straight. Ooh, that just made me excited. Like, what if they ever did a Nightmare version of this song? But I feel like they just do such a good job at relaying the emotion that the lyrics are saying like so well, because it's one thing to have like really powerful lyrics, but you also have to have the powerful vocals to back it up, to really like sell the song so that you believe what they're feeling. And they've done that like completely here, especially with those like little whispered lyrics, especially with that like little whispered singing from So-yeon at the beginning, like this part. Oof. You can just hear like the hopelessness in her voice. And it seemed like in Han Alone they were so sure of being over it, but here it sounds like the song is where they're having their doubts. Like the resolve to forget you wavers from one wind, as if the promise to erase you was a lie as well. Ooh, and this line just like so broke my heart. At the moonlight that melts the heartbreak, only my tears fill up. And then, is it my greed to wait for your spring again? Like they are in winter and cold, and then this person will bring them spring. And it's interesting choice of words to say your spring and not just the spring, because it almost suggests like my greediness and my just not wanting to be alone, I'm seeking out your spring, when if I could wait, I might actually have a better one. Or if I actually like work through these emotions instead of just trying to bury them and go back to what's comfortable. So now I really, really hope this gets this gets resolved. As beautiful as this song was, I want them to be able to move on. So let's get to HWAA now, which is our title track for I Burn. So when I Google HWAA and it says what is the meaning, it says flower. HWAA refers to a flower and represents spring and love. So does that mean that they're going to be getting through their heartbreak now and finding their own spring? I hope so, especially starting out with this scene here of this tree and like the pond and flowers. So let's watch HWAA. Going through all the seasons. Oh no, are we back in winter? Or is this going to be the transition?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, she's so gorgeous. Ooh. I like the bob. Ooh, make a big fire. Amazing. Win back the spring I've lost. Oh, now Minnie with the red hair. Ooh. Oh, I like this beat. They look so mysterious. Those just like plain white gowns and the face covering. Whew. In her nest. Ooh. Queen of the crows. Ooh, that was cool. So now they've got all the florals on. They've gotten through the winter. Like, even though it's supposed to be a triumphant moment, it still feels like there's a bit of sorrow in it, you know? Yeah, burn myself with fire of the heartbreaking times. It's like rising from the ashes. Ooh. Ooh. I love this. Ooh. Those almost seemed like like from the ashes rose like some powers. But yeah, even though this song is kind of about triumphing over that pain, you still feel that feeling of like acknowledging the pain and where they've kind of come from and what they went through, especially starting out in this like winter environment and slowly throughout the video making their way through to the spring and then the fire of like summer almost. Because Soyeon saying, as if in the dead of winter the time has completely frozen, which seems to be left by the cruel wind, the darkness deepens. And then Soojin with this really powerful part of, so that my tears dwelling inside won't live any longer, I shall make a fire, a bigger fire, to win back spring that I've lost. lost. Like, I'm going to use my pain as motivation to push through and rebuild a new life for myself. But then Soyeon's rap is kind of alluding back to Han Alone, where she says, I shall never let your trace leave a mark, shall burn the resentment left undone, and shall take away the lonesome cold, step over the withered flowered path. Once I untangle Han, shall feel the spring once again. Of while, you know, Han Alone might have been more so posturing, this feels like the real deal, you know? And it's interesting that there's crows in this part, because crows are known to be like incredibly smart, and they're also known to like remember human faces. So it's kind of interesting to have that symbolism of an animal that is so good at remembering things when she's talking about forgetting something. And then it's also interesting that they have parts of themselves from the winter all the way up to the end of the song when they're burning up and lighting up a fire, where it kind of makes me feel like they're saying, we don't want to forget this part of what we went through. We want to forget you, but we don't want to forget this part of ourselves and what we went through, and take it as something we're going to carry forward, almost like as a memory of what could happen if you trust the wrong person. But, you know, I hope that means that they're not going to like close themselves off to love or anything like that. But ooh, what a like powerful trio of songs right there. I think HWAA was my favorite of the three, especially with like the music video and just the development that it led to. And I'm always partial to a song with a happy ending. But yeah, the artistry here, chef's kiss. But all right, let's get to the rest of our B-sides on this album here, starting with Moon. So okay, what's the mood now? Are we on the up and up now, or are we potentially gonna go backwards? I feel like with a song like Moon, we might get something dreamy. I don't know, so let's listen. I like those strings in the background. Why is this making me think of like Zelda? Ooh. She has such an interesting voice. They all have interesting voices, honestly. It's very like whimsical, despite the lyrics not being very whimsical. Especially because they want to reduce their sadness and be alone. Like, what happened? We were doing so well. We were going in the right direction with HWAA. Like, nobody can see me, please hide me. No Soyeon so far. Are we gonna get a rap? I like the harmonies. Are we really gonna get no Soyeon? That's interesting. Just really letting the other members shine. I never want to hide you, Minnie. Huh. So it's kind of like a vocal line song. Song had a really cool instrumental. And that like ticking clock. Oh, there's Soyeon. And that's interesting that she shows up like right at the end like that. In my heart, I am hoping that they just want to be alone because they want to be in their single era. They just want to like do their thing. But I feel like that's probably not the case, especially when literally the first line, Minnie's talking about her tears, or the second line, I guess, because the night with the bright moon, me who couldn't hide at the red moonlight, my tears and my facial expression can be seen. And the moon just shining down on them and them wanting to be like hidden away in the darkness, which, just kills me. I-DLE can't be hidden away. I will not let them. And I'm wondering if Soyeon had a hand in writing this one as well. And part of it was like her hiding herself until the very end was part of that expression of wanting to stay hidden, because normally she's like at the very forefront of a lot of songs, either having like the first couple of lines or she'll have like her own rap verse, which makes her kind of stand out from the rest of the members. But then her like having one or two lines at the very end is that way of like hiding for her. And then this line is so beautiful, even though it's so devastating, of red moon, please take me to the sky so that in your dark universe I can hide this star, please hide me. Like, I'm curious where this is coming from, but you know, part of me makes me think that it's just like the life of being an idol. It can be very hard to just hide, and I can't imagine what that life is like, especially when there's like sasaengs in Korea and that sort of thing, where it just can be so hard to exist and just like be a person without just constantly being followed or people talking about you online or whatever it might be. Like, I don't know how they do it. So while obviously, you know, I'm sad if they just want to be alone and on their own, the other part of me is like, just let them be alone. Like, leave them alone. I just hope that they are doing okay and taking care of themselves. But let's now listen to Where Is Love. So I have a feeling it's not going to get any better from Moon if they're saying where is love, as if there is no love to be found in existence, which is depressing. But hopefully they find it by the end. So let's listen to Where Is Love. Oh, this gives me like a dance pop song. Ooh, I like the bass line there. Let go of you and find myself. Okay, I'm into this. Things are turning around. And those clock sounds are back. Ooh. Just want to dance. Ooh. Yeah, so lots of themes here from our previous songs. Time gets too late, waiting is forgotten. So does this mean they're ready to find love again? They're looking for it? I feel like I need my lighter. Makes me think of like dance pop songs from the early 2010s. You know, like a Zed song maybe. Oh, interesting ending there, almost like an anti-drop. But I feel like that song came in at a good time to kind of pick up the energy a bit for the album. And Clarity by Zed, I think, is what this song kind of made me think of. The one that's like, if I love... I don't know the words, but it was very popular in my early university years, where you can just like jump around to it and like feel the vibes. I feel like that's what this song is. But this line just fills my heart of the crumpled memories slowly become dull. I let go of you and find myself. Like, yes. It makes me so happy for them that they're like moving on. And the lost smiles are filled back again. I forget you and find myself. I think these are like my favorite lines of the song. Of like, they're leaving these memories behind. They're feeling themselves smile again. Like... And then this ending line of it scatters without leaving behind a tiniest trace. Where is love? Where, you know, it's like after saying they were going to move on and then not moving on, and then in HWAA being like, okay, now I'm moving on, but then going back to them being like alone and sad. It almost feels like whiplash, you know, but here it's like the process is complete. Like they have become their new selves and have moved on, and it just fills my heart with joy. So if we get to this next song and we've taken another step backwards, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, because like they're so good at just bringing you through the motions of it, of making you feel for them and those feelings that they're having, of not just like loneliness but also betrayal. And I feel that with them, you know, like I feel like I can put myself in their shoes so easily, and they do such a great job at painting a picture. But oh no. Our next song here is called Lost. This is not good. So is the doubt gonna come back in again? Are they going to potentially have regrets or be missing this person? I really hope not. And I hope that this album ends with a happy ending, or else my heart's just gonna be broken forever. But I have a feeling we're gonna hit a speed bump first here with Lost. So let's listen. Maybe not with this tempo. More snaps. Ooh, those vocals. I love it when they go in the lower register. To cover you from the stained memories may be forgotten. Yeah, this is like a true breakup album. Huh. Ooh. I'm really loving their vocals on this song. Okay, more erasing. This is good. For a second I was like, oh no, we're not going back to this person. Ooh. I don't want to waste my tears. Good. Feelings are still there though. I like the acoustic guitar in the background. I hope you can share how you did that, so they want to like understand. Yeah, I think this is my favorite song vocally so far. They're not hitting any like high notes, but I just like the richness. It's an interesting tempo choice for this song. It's kind of like solemn. Yeah, the acoustic guitar gives it a feeling a bit more of like a rawness to it. Holy cow, that was a quick one. I mean, not that quick. It was like a 3-minute song, but still, it went by fast. So there's kind of like two sides to the song where there's the HWAA part where she's saying, I lost everything now, I can't go back anymore. But then there's Yuki also saying, even when I turn back, you're not there. So it's like, even if I wanted to go back, which I don't, you're not there anymore. Or, I'm wondering, do they... Because it kind of seems like they're holding on to a little bit of something here, especially with this line of we can't be together like how we used to be, of, okay, maybe like I don't want to go, or we can't go back to where we were, but maybe there could be something new where, I don't know. I'm not getting the vibes from this album that's gonna work. But then Soyeon's part saying, what's all this love? Just take it all. I don't want to waste my tears. Yes, I'll take this chance to film a perfect ending. This is truly the end. I won't wait. Don't regret it. Of like, this perfect ending isn't going to be you and me together. It's going to be, moving on my own, which I really hope. That's going to be the last song of this album, is them just truly coming into their own and fully leaving the past behind them. Because like, I just feel like the knife, they just like put the knife in and then twist it, and then they'll take it out, and then I'm like, oh, thank goodness. And then like put it right back in again, and then like twist it again. It's just... oh, it never ends. So I can't even imagine what they're feeling, because there must be some kind of inspiration behind this album. But yeah, I actually think this is my favorite B-side so far. So I don't want to wait. I want to get right into Dahlia, because I want to know how this ends. Oh, they've done such a good job at just like weaving the story all throughout this album and keeping me on the hook of like, what's gonna happen? So I'm hoping that here with Dahlia, and with them wearing their spring colors, that this is evoking those feelings of the spring has arrived. We have our flower, please. Please, for their sakes. So let me take my last sip of tea and we shall listen to Dahlia. Kind of dreamy. Ooh. Gorgeous. So is this a new love? Hidden behind the glamour. Oh, don't trust Dahlia. Ooh. That like falsetto note.
Yeah. Love is win 또 다시 사랑했던 비 My name is Bo 변할 거라고도 던지 불고 향해 치안거리면 가는 법 멈칫 없이 달려가는 중에 별빛처럼 노란 품이 점점 짙어지는 사랑의 컬러 돌이킬 수 없이 깊어져 벽을 다 헐어 모든 걸 뺏긴 난 그저 이 순간 I pray to God 제발 이곳은 영원히 아름답기를 화려함 속에 가려진 활짝 핀 미소 뒤에 감춰둔 네 모습은 보이는 것처럼 예쁠까 잊지 마요
So what's dangerous here?
My love is Dahlia. Our love is Dahlia. 너랑 꽃을 취해 버린 내게 No matter what they say I choose to love you anyway.
I really hope this isn't this isn't the old person. Getting filled up by you. Whoa. love Minnie's voice so much. I love all their voices really, but especially hers in this song. You're so beautiful when I look at you. Same, Sujin. I don't know what it is about me that's like doubting this this relationship where I'm like, is this the old person? Have you gone back to them? What is the symbolism of a dahlia? In the Victorian era, when florography, the language of flowers, was all the rage, dahlias were given as symbols of devotion, love, beauty, and dignity. They're also tied to steadfastness due to their ability to bloom after many other flowers have died. Oh, that's interesting. So they're saying, like, you know, despite the harsh conditions, my love has bloomed. But yeah, this song was so freaking gorgeous, and maybe it's become my new I was just gonna say Lost was my favorite, and then before that I think that Hann Alone in Winter was my favorite, but I think this one would be my favorite B-side. I think that's just the sign that this album is amazing, and it took me on such an emotional journey from start to finish, where there's so many like gorgeous vocals throughout this album, so many like heartbreaking moments, so many like beautiful lyrics too. Like, I'm slowly colored by you in my deepening heart. It's getting filled up by you like a blooming flower. Just like, the imagery that they've created throughout this album is so beautiful and powerful. Like, I have to say, I think this is my new favorite I-DLE album, despite the fact that they just tortured me throughout the whole thing. I'll forgive them one day because of just like the amazing music that came out of it, and I can't even decide like what's my favorite song. But I would be curious to know from you like what your favorite song or songs are on the album, especially because I can't decide, and if this was like as heartbreaking for you as it was for me, because like I don't know if I'm ever gonna move on. And I hope that Dahlia means that they've gotten to this like new place of they've found love again with someone different that isn't going to break their heart. I'm hopeful for them. I'm hopeful. And I was just so blown away by everything here. And I was just so blown away by this album. So friends, thank you for joining me for this video. And I want to say a special thank you to my patrons for making all of my videos happen. My patrons have access to weekly exclusive reactions. I have I-DLE's Queendom Performances reaction on my Patreon, as well as a couple of other variety type content reactions. My patrons also get access to my YouTube schedule for the month, as well as behind the scenes content. And then my $5 patrons get early access to my YouTube videos, the ability to vote on the content of a YouTube video once per month, and a shout out at the end of every single one of my YouTube videos. So an extra special thank you to my $5 patrons, who are Abby, Azae Life, Catherine W, Catherine H, CM, Chris Mary R, Desiree, MJN, Aaron M, Grace T, Hope to Dust, Jazzberry, Jennifer O, Kirsten, Kit Kat, Chris M, Kulisek, Leah B, Miriam S, No Name, Raindrop, Sophia S, Tiffers, and Vicos. If you would like to help support my channel and enjoy some exclusive content, then you can visit me at patreon.com/laurenclaire. But until my next I-DLE video, I hope you are doing well, staying safe, taking care of yourself, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.